Hello, hello, my Arcader aces and acolytes. I hope you are all having a glorious day so far on this, our final day of Lady Arcader's Super Showcase 2023. However, it's not over yet. I'm PippyInATopHat, and I am honored to be your humble host for some truly charming upcoming runs. Up next, we have Kirby Star Allies being run by our delightful Dame Darksol. I know we're all anxiously anticipating that precious Poyo experience, but as we get our backstage ducks in a row, if you are looking for something to pass the time, might I suggest you put in your 2 cents about what character you want to see Darksol play as for this run, be that the 3 Mage Sisters, or the devious, devilish, and dapper Daroach. He has a top hat. He's great. I'm definitely not biased at all. But Daroach is currently in the lead. If you would like to see me be sad about my top-hatted brethren not getting to go on a magical adventure, then you can donate and change that to the 3 Mage Sisters, which is also a very valid choice, and you are very, very valid for choosing it, but none of them have top hats. Also, your donations will be going to CARE, which is an absolutely wonderful cause and is the reason we're all here, so hey, it's a win-win. Now, I'll be right back with our wonderful performer, so sit tight, chat. Consider the top hats. Okay, as it turns out, there wasn't a whole ton of time to consider top hats. I'm very sorry for rushing you. That's on me. I need you to consider top hats very quickly. But that's okay, because that means we get to the run ever faster. So, may I introduce to you the one, the only Darksol. Take it away with that Kirby goodness.
Hello! I am Sol, resident Beam Queen, kind of. Don't worry about this, we're not going to be using him. But you might have seen me earlier in the marathon with Kirby Dreamland 1. That was a very spicy, very extra run. And now I'm here with Star Allies. So we have a choice here. We either have 3 magical sisters, or 1 thievy boy. I know it was said that Daroach was in the lead. I'm curious if that's changed last minute or not, so if I could get an update on that before we get into the run, that would be great.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to tell you, even though you should definitely donate because your money is going to a great cause, that Daroach and his top hat are our leading contenders. So, take it away. Perfect. I couldn't be more excited.
Honestly, perfect then. In that case, 3, 2, 1... go.
Good luck.
So we're not using the Mage Sisters, but that's actually completely fine, because Daroach has his own unique way of moving around. He has his little dash attack. If we do it over ledges, he moves a little bit more, which is kind of awkward to position sometimes. If we're too close to enemies, he'll actually do a different claw attack, which doesn't really move him at all, so we want to avoid that, but otherwise, he is one of several Dream Friends throughout the game that represent different games in the series. In his case, he represents Sweep Squad, being, the leader of the Sweeps, and thus who else would they use for it? That said, he is not actually alone. He does actually have the rest of them with him in one of his attacks, but we don't end up needing them terribly often. Daroach does not fight alone by any means, and he's just very cheese to be around, if anything. Oh, also, he has a fancy hat, which just helps.
Which this entire couch is in full support of.
May I just say I absolutely love that while he's moving, he holds the brim of his hat. I have to make sure it's always in position to look maximum dapper.
Oh, it's actually better than that. If he, I'll do it real briefly once I get out of here. But if he Dorothy also holds the hat out. Or holds the hat. It's very good. Also, we have this room here, which is meant to be kind of a tutorial of sorts. Of like, here's the different moves he has that you can use the other sweets for, but we don't need, again, that's slow, and we're trying to be fast, so we're not going to be doing that. And instead, we're just going to keep making our way through here, trying to jump across here, because there's not really much else for vertical movement. But otherwise, Daroach, it has a lot of moving parts in its arsenal. All of them do kind of decent damage. Which is good, but this means that we can kind of combine a lot of these. We won't see this for a little bit longer, because we won't really see this until we get to our first boss fight. 3 deaths is who we'll be fighting, and then it's a Kirby game, so if you're familiar with the series, the first 2 don't count.
Yeah, and so all of the guest star level layouts are mostly similar. Got a couple of introductory bosses in the first level to sort of whet the appetite in conventional Kirby game fashion.
Yeah, and the ones that got introduced later on also did special stages based on their own game. By the way, this is our first boss, Wispy Woods. If you thought it was anyone else, I'm very surprised, and we're just gonna throw everything at him at once.
Oh, I thought it was King DDD. Oh, darn it.
Don't worry, he's coming up.
Oh, yay!
Will not be disappointed. Yeah, and so the basic idea is Daroach has a lot of lasers, and most often than not, especially against bosses with larger hurt boxes, Darksol's going to set up that sort of cross pattern of lasers with the bomb trap and the ice laser to just sort of melt the larger hit boxes as fast as possible.
Not to mention, we throw like a chest, which has like a spring-loaded Dark Nebula toy, which is supposed to be the final boss of Sweep Squad, so... we just casually have that as a thing. That's like, here have Dark Nebula, it just bounces around and it's just a toy, it's great. Also, I'm gonna... Okay, never mind! That's never happened before.
Hey! We said the thing.
Also, we have giant Waddle Dee Katamaris. We don't want to be near that, it hurts. So we're just gonna dash across and make our way out of here Indiana Jones style. Kind of. Also, we don't need that. Most of the time, we're not gonna be grabbing the health pickups if we can help it. What we do want is attack and speed. Speed is so we can move around a little bit faster, although our dash attack doesn't really benefit from it. And we want attack because we do more damage that way. So, sadly, Daroach doesn't do a lot in this early stage, but that's kind of fine. And you saw me use this at the start of the run, but now that we're in like another mob segment, you'll see that I will basically just fire a bunch of stars at him. And that's actually the triple star. It's something he used during his second boss fight in the game. And Kirby gets his like kind of the special final boss ability kind of thing. For this, it's just another attack.
I'm so in love with he just pushed the frozen Waddle Dees out of the way.
By the way, here's DDD.
Oh my goodness.
Got it in 2. But because it's a contemporary Kirby game, of course, it is not merely enough to be DDD. We have to make it to Swole DDD.
Yeah, now, oh no, he's huge. And sadly not quite fast enough to keep him from doing his bigger attack here, but we should be able to kill him next move. We do, and done.
Nice.
But, you know what? I think we could use a friend with us, so we're just gonna grab him real quick. Doing this we actually need him actually really soon for a friend circle. So if anything, this saves us a little bit of time in game because the timer will stop once the fight concludes.
Speaking of friends, do you have time for some friendly donations?
Definitely, because we're just gonna be kind of going through this room and then the friend circle, so we definitely have time.
Perfect, because I have $5 here for you from Leif, who says, I felt like donating. And not only did they feel like donating, they felt like donating to our Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected Character Choice Incentive. So if you would like to get your 2 cents in on that character choice, since we've already picked clearly the best character for our current run, your options are Shulk, Melia, and is that Nini? I think it's pronounced Nini. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. You'll know better than me. But we also have $30 from Anonymous, who didn't leave a comment, but also wanted to weigh in on our Xenoblade Chronicles character choice. And Shulk is in the lead, by the way. So let that inform your decisions.
I have to say, I have basically no Xenoblade experience, but I do have a fair bit of Smash Bros. Experience, and as such, I have an anti-Shulk bias. So, chat, I'm gonna need you all to help correct this.
I'm also being told it's Nene. It's Nene. I was hoping it wasn't Nene because I did not. I thought that was a dance move, and I didn't want to be wrong. But it's Nene.
I feel like Pete will remember that about Shulk.
I'm sure he's lovely in the series. I know what I lose to.
Pete feels attacked apparently.
Amazing. And
now,
so
unfortunately,
immediately after...
unfortunately we have water, so we're just gonna jump across Hikiti Foot.
He's so cute!
Yeah, mouse can float. Makes perfect sense. Darksol also dismissed all of her friends here. Generally, friends are a very short-term arrangement in these guest star runs, because you don't want to be taking friends with you into boss fights since their health does scale to the current size of your party. So outside of moments like the friend circle that we just saw, we're going to be trying to do as much of the game possible Daroach solo.
That's
Daroach
probably should have kept one of them. So, here, we'll take one. What were you about to say, though?
Oh, I was just saying Daroach is the only one we really need.
I mean, he is, and again, he's not alone. He does have the sweets, but unfortunately, the sweets don't take up party slots, so they can't actually help us unless we, kind of force the top it. Also, welcome to the worst tease in the game. The div is candy. And then do this, so we don't actually get to use it.
At least we get the candy, like, invincibility theme, which this might be my favorite invincibility theme in video games.
Oh, I love it. It's just, you don't actually get to do anything with it, really, aside from... Oh, jeez, I actually missed the speed up! I haven't done that one either, if I'm being honest, so usually just jump into it perfectly, and this time, no, Daroach was gone.
I'm assuming a speed up is a good thing to have in a speed run.
I mean, obviously for the part it's, you know, speed, but also it affects our horizontal movement for anything that's not our dash attack. So our dash attack doesn't care, but for jumping around like this room where we kind of have to do it, it does mean we get to move around quite a bit faster. That said, there are diminishing returns past level 3 for the moves, for the different boosts. The amount you did is a lot less. So, for example, like speed taps, I think 1.5 times. But level 3 speed is like 1.4, for example. Or like attach those to like 2.5 at level 3, and then the last 2 levels teach you to three times. They're good, but if they're out of the waivers, we're not going to be grabbing them because it's not worth it most of the time. Especially if we're already at level 3, that's pretty much our sweet spot. Also, during the last enemy mob, you did see I used his standard attack more, and that's because his standard attack is actually ice-based. And if the enemy is frozen, the game immediately moves to the next part of the fight instead of waiting for the enemy to die first. Doesn't come up much, in fact that's one of the few times it will, but it's very useful to know. And also with the win on our backs, we can just kind of safely get through most of this without too much hassle. As long as I don't mess up and hit a door, though. That does happen sometimes.
That's mostly a consideration at the end of the dash, right? Daroach looks pretty invincible during, like, the middle of the dash attack.
Yeah, you'll see he's flashing during most of it, so we're safe until the end of it, and then he'll take damage if we're still, like, in it at that point. Anyways, while I just triple start everything out of the area, if we got any messages or donations, this would be a good time for them.
I mean, I wanted to ask about, just from personal curiosity, there's some mention before the run started about friend trains, and whether or not we could join the friend train. Okay.
Yes, those will come up. Those will come up soon. I know there's one in the next stage.
May I suggest, as is the proud tradition of speedrunning marathons, chat, if I have been witness to the adorableness of the friend train, I heard that if you have, say, a donation train, doesn't have to be $5, it could be $1, it could be $2, any small amount helps for a great cause. You too could join the friend train.
It's a very adorable time.
I hear it's very hype.
I hear that you have a cute train hat, so who wants to join a friend train with me? Come on.
we do, and Daroach wears it on top of his normal hat because that hat ain't going anywhere. Okay, yeah, I was going a little too fast. Don't want to hit the bird on. Not that it matters a lot, but it is something I do have to keep in mind. Also, here's Meta Knight.
We hit the 3 for 3 on Kirby bosses.
We don't need a sword. What we do need is these. And I know where he's going, so I'm just gonna set up right here, and... Oh, he actually... Oh, I did that a little bit late, I guess. There we go. Surprisingly, this saves a little bit of real time, actually. But we don't keep them. So, hi Meta Knight, and bye Meta Knight. Thanks for your time.
Can I also just give a huge shout out to, I just noticed that is like the Squeak Squad approaching music that played when you finish the level. That's so cute.
It is, and all of the Dream Friends have like a little jingle like that. It's really good.
So cute.
Like, they have that at the start of when you start the run, you've probably saw that, oh, there was like a unique graphic. Yeah, that is based on their box art. Superstar's a little bit of a slight, not really an exception, but it's not the box art that we know. It's actually the Japanese box art that they use for arts. Still really, really good though.
Generally, the appreciation for the Kirby lore, both in terms of game history and like in-game lore and the contemporary Kirby games, is really cool to see.
Slight bit of a blip there. And yeah, the lore for this series is wild for those that want to look into it. If you're curious about that, I know the arcaders did have a Wild Kirby lore thing for trap mode. Maybe give that a watch after this run if you're curious of how that rabbit hole actually goes.
all previous attract modes are on the Lady Arcader's YouTube channel. So, hey, if you're interested, go give that a quick subscribe. It's free, and you get Lady Arcader's content year-round. Okay, it's chill over. So sorry.
I mean, that was kind of what I was going for, so that worked out. Also, speaking of lots of fan servers for this game, here's Pon and Con. You might remember them from Dreamland 3 if you played that game. And they operate basically the same way as they did before. Except now it's a lot easier to get both of them.
I'm just gonna say, I assume operate the same way they did before is code for are still vulnerable to giant full map lasers.
Oh, definitely. Also, just cute pose. Normally doing that would be like, oh, give me an element or something, or do some interaction. Daroach doesn't actually have anything like that. It's more for the AI allies if you have any. But he does do a pose, and it's a really neat pose. A little bit trickier navigation now that we're kind of further along, and also a little bit scarier because we do have less health than we would normally, and especially since we're not grabbing any of the health that does if we can help it. So
spicy spikes dodge there.
Yeah, and I'm having to play it very carefully.
Do we have a hot moment for some tickets for the dono train?
Sure, because we're just kind of making our way to a boss fight, and, well, it's gonna do pretty much like most of the others. In fact, we had 2 boss fights.
Because I got $5 here for you from PippyInATopHat, who has purchased a ticket for the friend train and says $5 friend train! Also mouse, hat, mouse. Thank you.
So that is Francesca, one of the mage sisters we could have played as, but we're not playing as them, so we have to fight them. Also, fire melts the ice, so we actually get health pickups from it. Very convenient for the second fight. Not that it matters that much, because they both just kind of don't really stand a chance. We just cross all the beams together, and they're just kind of not gonna be doing a whole lot.
Yeah, and generally, as is the case in most Kirby speedruns, at least that I have seen, it's a lot of just knowing where the boss will be, especially for a trap-based character like Daroach.
Yes, and honestly, Daroach isn't the only character that's been like that. Maybe in this game. But it's certainly not the only example in the series. Like, there's, for example, I think in Robobot, we have Poison Kirby, which operates under, like, a lot of traps with the poison. You know, in case you want more recommendations, and for that matter, for anyone that's considering donations, why not mention your favorite Kirby game or favorite song from the series? Because there's a lot of bangers throughout the series history, let me tell ya. Including this song right now.
I didn't even remember a lot of the Squeak Squad music, and now that it was like unlocked in my brain, it's just playing on loop in my head.
This isn't Squeak Squad, this is Dreamland 3.
But sorry, my brain is still stuck on Squeak Squad. Can you tell what era of Kirby game I played a lot of?
No, 100% same. And also shoutouts to the final boss track, which I will not say any more on because spoilers of Forgotten Land is also a banger.
Somebody who hasn't played Forgotten Land, I'm scared.
You should
I have also not played Forgotten Land, to be clear.
You should be, and also I definitely recommend playing it. It is a very, very good game. Easily, if I'm not being blinded by nostalgia for Nightmare in Dreamland, that one's easily like the top game for me in the series. Except I'm usually blinded by nostalgia because Nightmare in Dreamland is like very near and dear to me, so obviously that one's gonna win out. Yes, Yes, exactly. Don't play Forgotten Land. You will not regret it. Also, speaking of friend train segments, we finally have our first one.
All aboard.
Yeah, all aboard. And as you can see, Daroach does in fact wear it on top of his normal hat.
Listen, just because we got a train hat doesn't mean we can lose the top hat.
Exactly.
While we're friend training, is this a good time to...
Definitely give some messages and donations.
Yeah, we're invincible here.
Wonderful.
We're just trekking.
Because we did have some more people purchase tickets to the friend train. Got $5 from Metroid Crime, the one, the only, who says, choo-choo! Big ol' choo-choo. Also, $5 from Scala Kitty, who says, $5 to ride the friend train.
Yeah, by the way, you do actually make little noises as you jump, or if you're like unable to jump, you'll still do the noises. It's great.
Did I also hear you mention this is the first friend train?
Yes, there will be a second one later.
We have more friend train coming up, y'all. So there's more chances to get aboard the friend train.
In fact, if Mage Sisters won, we would have actually had a third.
And we can safely say that now.
Yeah,
Listen,
sadly for
sometimes
Daroach it just replaced with the friend circle we saw earlier.
You have to choose between if you want good top hat or more train time.
More trains and more speed.
A lot of this positioning in the arena is just the sheer amount of power you get off of the ricochet off of some of these stars to clean up several back-to-back waves. That arena in particular, because of the platform on one side, you can see several multi-wave clears there.
Yeah, it's why Triple Star is so good for this. Also, we're finding our last Mage Sister for the moment. San Partisan, or some have called her, San Parmesan. You know, if you feel particularly Italian about it. This could be doing a little bit better, but that's fine.
Never any doubt.
Yeah, ideally I beat her before she does that attack, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
I have to say, it's so weird to see Zan only dashing 2 times, because in the Mage Sisters run, she's just doing that dash the entire run for movement. It's oh yeah, it's a boss dodge attack.
Also, I saw the mention about the Fountain of the Dreams music that was in Melee. They have actually used a version of that in a few games. Nightmare Adrenaline uses the actual version in GBA MIDI form, and then you've got a variation of it in games like Air Ride. So it has shown up since Melee. Oh geez, I forgot about the meme pictures that it is for the Mage Sisters. Some of those are kind of thanks to Shasta's GDQ run of that. With the meme that Flamberge just breaks ice. Which isn't wrong. That is pretty much all you do with her. and kill a few enemies. She gets a little bit of a treat. Also, we have too many hills here, so we're just gonna jump across it instead. Get rid of this Broom Hatter just so it doesn't try to do anything funny.
Yeah, not for nothing, but is that being unfamiliar with the sheer breadth of characters in the guest star mode, is there any character that can't kind of perma-float?
Several of them.
Okay, so the hills will get some use at some point.
Oh, wait, you're talking about, can't, just jump across? No, all of them can at least do that.
Okay, well, they're nice to look at.
Oh, so that's Bugsy. He's gone. His corpse also goes away too quickly for us to befriend him, so it's just not worth even trying to do our usual strat of befriend the thing we beat up and then dismiss them. Normally that would save us a little bit of in-game time because the timer doesn't run during the dismissal, but can't do that if the hitboxes are just kind of going to destroy it.
So generally speaking, does this game use in-game time or RTA?
For this mode, it uses in-game time. Load times are kind of long, and there's like a near 11 to 13 minute difference just because of load times. Also, I hope you enjoyed seeing Wispy again for the roughly 15 seconds.
Yeah, even faster the second time around.
Also, Random Cherry, not sure what that's about. Oh no. We have Older Tree. And I threw that in the wrong spot. Well, that's fine, we'll jump through 2 of these instead.
Nice clean second phase.
Yeah, so that is Yiddy Woods, or kind of like Yggdrasil. There's different pronunciations. Basically, meant to be kind of like the Royal Tree. By the way, we have more bosses. So if we thought we were done before, no, we're not.
Daroach does have a pretty high density of scuffles, which I think makes sense for the gentleman anti-hero thing he's got going on here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're really good at our traps, so they can't really do a whole lot. But they're just gonna run into the bombs, and that'll deal with them. We have the lasers, so once they... during that segment, they will actually be on whatever platform you're on. So it's very easy to actually manipulate them to be exactly where we want them and finish the fight pretty cleanly. And pretty much we don't have to worry about much RNG, if any, against them. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about much in that section. If we were playing as some of the other friends, especially the enemy-based ones, there's like a whole sequence of like 5 mini-bosses that you have to fight, and it's just a whole thing. It's also why those don't really see runs. They are much longer runs. They're like this one's like, in terms of real time, about 45-50 minutes. Maybe 35 to 40 if we're talking Mage Sisters. For a lot of the frenemy ones, or like the Wave Zero Dream Friends, that being DDD, Meta Knight, Bandanity, they're like over an hour, real time. They're fun characters. They have some fun differences themselves, but they're really not the most practical for something like this. If you really want something that's kind of on the shorter end.
And by and large, that's just they have a more limited kit.
No, they also have very much longer routes. So each of them have like a different set of stages they go through in terms of like what stages layouts they'll use. And for them, they have the longest ones. And in fact, DDD and Bonkers are generally almost tied for the slowest character in the entire mode. Like, lots of poor movement options, lots of just launch stuff they have to deal with, and I think they also have a good few fights. Okay, did we actually remember to put the bombs here this time?
Yeah, super clean Francisca there.
Yeah, I could have done without getting the sudden water in my face, though. I did get it. She wanted to help me cool off, which is great, but it wasn't really practical in the situation.
Yeah, it's the middle of summer. It was actually a very kind thing to do.
It was. It was. But we also have all this other water. We were going to cool off anyways. Also, we gotta be careful. There actually are enemies behind some of these waterfalls. Like, one of them had a Gordo, and that one I just went through had a Blunt. That's not a joke. Like if you look closely, you just see there's a blunt just kind of chilling in there. If you freeze it, you can see it because then the waterfall stops. I just know it because I've done this run a lot, so I've just kind of memorized it. But while I am busy throwing stars and freezing enemies, if we have any messages, definitely feel free to give them.
Oh, of course. I do have a donation for you from Ignorant Spoon, who donates $20 and says, "Oh dear, this is all in caps. I hope you're ready. Choo-choo! Chugga 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 choo!"
I wouldn't expect it any other way if we're doing a train.
That was also donated towards our, next up incentive after Xenoblade, the DDR Mario Mix character choice between Mario and Luigi, which also is a great moment to bring up that we are trying to reach $500 raised for that DDR Mario Mix super hard difficulty showcase. We're at $105 right now, making great headway, but if you would like to see that, and I know I would, get in your donations now, yeah? You've got a couple hours, but now is as good a time as any. Like,
no time like the present.
Green Mario is best Mario.
Green Mario is currently winning, so it seems that there is a current agreement with you. However, if you're a fan of Red Mario over Green Mario...
By the way, so this is Krakow. We made him upset, and now we decided, okay, we're gonna be two now. That just means he has 2 hitboxes, really. Also, sadly, we kind of killed him too fast to do like fun interactions with the waterfalls. Those are actually able to be interacted with. If you use electrical attacks, it will zap the waterfall and zap them, so they'll take damage. If you hit it with ice attacks, eventually you freeze not only the waterfall, but you freeze them. They fall down and take a ton of damage. It is an absolutely silly interaction. I love it, but it's not one we didn't use much.
It's a little mystifying to me that Krakow would be vulnerable to electricity, but maybe I'm thinking too hard.
Yeah, it's a Kirby game. Probably don't.
Anyway, now we have meteors.
We have meteors, and we have this room. This room is terrible. It's just lots of inclines with these switches you have to hit. You have to wait for the platform to slide down. You have these enemies that are going to stay after you as you keep trying to navigate it. So it's very easy to just kind of get messed up trying to get out of here. But we have this like Mario 2 USA masked wannabe thing trying to chase us. We have Bronto Bursts that want to come after us. It's not fun. No one likes that room.
There's always one in every speedrun.
I can say as a viewer, though, it was very satisfying to watch, so I like that room.
Alright, let's see if we can get Flamebirch down before she does too much. We should be fine. Yeah, we're good.
Beat the countdown.
Yeah, we have like no attack buffs going in here, so it's a little bit rougher. Also, random triple deluxe song. Also, a very neat room with the wind going after us, so we can keep using our dash attack to really get around in this lane. Mostly.
Yeah, I mean, especially you see with the dash extension off of platforms there with the wind at our backs.
Yeah, we just zoom once that happens. Also, this room that tried to be really scary and crush us. How will Daroach get out of this tricky situation?
I have to say, this is some of the best textured lava in video games, full stop.
Oh, this name's gorgeous for what it is. Even if it was could have been a little bit better. No, we're fine. Honestly thought that water bit might hit us. And now we have more fighting. So if we have any messages, definitely give them. We're gonna be a bit.
Well, we love a quick fight, but I would like to update everyone on that Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected Character Choice. That sure is a mouthful to say, but that Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected Character Choice poll. We still have Shulk in the lead, but Melia and Nene are tied for second right now, and Shulk's lead is not looking too hefty. So if you want to get sweet, sweet vengeance on Shulk for hitting you with that big old sword he got in the last time you played Smash with your friends, who might not be friends with you anymore because you played too much Smash together, hey, a $20 donation could snipe the lead in either other direction. Just saying.
Pippy, how do you know my life that well?
That is a lot of us.
Hey, I'm just clairvoyant, okay?
By the way, speaking of the train segments from before, we actually have that coming up pretty soon here during this next portion of level 5. You also saw that I befriended both Bonkers, and that is because we were gonna want 4 anyways, we might as well try to get them now. Also, we need to hope they don't try to die, because the AI in this day could be better.
How often is it the case that you lose runs to AI misbehavior?
Honestly, not very often. It loses maybe a few seconds if it happens.
Okay. So
It's unfortunate, but it's not like a deal breaker. Also, Daroach has have slightly better luck than others. Alright, get through our second room, and this is actually the one that I tend to worry about. Because in this room we have these giant kind of electrical saw blade things that you're seeing right now. The yellow one on top doesn't really think to move. Or, in some cases, do think to move, and then just get themselves caught in a bad spot and actually then can't evade it. So
yeah,
yellow
Bonkers
is really bad off right now, as you can see.
having a certified moment there with the saw blades.
He really put himself into that situation.
Yeah,
like, nobody
that
made
happens
him
a lot.
do that.
But that kind of worked out. Yellow is actually alive. They will get a health refill at the end of the segment. That's coming up. By the way, I hope y'all are ready for the second hype train of the run, because here we go.
It's friend train o'clock.
Y'all better have your tickets, and if you don't have your tickets, hey, not too late to get them now.
Also, by the way, you walk on water.
Yes, you run on top of the water, and we don't understand why, but we're gonna accept it.
It's the
That's
power
just
of
a perk of
friendship.
the train, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much this entire game.
Train, boat, the same thing, really.
Train boat. We also finally have the new sequel to Airboat.
Ah. Speaking of quality memes, I did also notice you did pick up 2 chefs. Are we gonna let them cook?
Sadly, yes and no.
Sadly, yes, was not the response I was expecting.
Well, I'd love to let them cook, but the thing is honestly, they're more likely to get squished in some capacity, probably. Actually, wait, no, they're not actually. We have like a safer route in the end for Daroach compared to the others.
Daroach is a dapper mouse with a dapper hat, and also it has safety plans for his friendly chefs.
And also, he looks kind of terrified right now with the train thing going on.
Listen, did you hear that all caps donation? Trains can be scary.
Especially when there is a giant firestorm going on in the background.
That's true. To be fair, I'd be kind of terrified also. Also, final section, make sure we don't hit these Shansos, just if we're too close to even the Shansos, like, they take no damage, they're invincible, but if we're too close, Daroach will still do the claw move anyway, that we don't want. Like, it works very similar to Final Cutter. Ow. Also need to be careful not to accidentally hit the Gordos. Also, we break the blocks as we go through them, and the Roach will actually do the longer attack thanks to it.
I mean, technically you're moving from grounded to not grounded.
Pretty much. That's the main reason we get the distance we get. Yeah, thank you. I need this key. Give me that back. Because any extra attack we can grab will be very nice for the final fights.
I'm assuming those triple level ups save a lot of time, considering it cost quite a bit of time to go turn around and...
It does one of each level, and that's just a huge thing to get in general. Also, that key means we don't have to go through, like, a bunch of enemies, and we don't actually need anything here except for this, so we're gonna go for key, Bunter's gonna hit them for me, thank you, and then we are gonna just go on to the next room.
That speed level up got ignored.
We are not gonna need it, we are actually coming up on, like, the final boss room. And for anyone who has played Sweet Spot, you probably recognize that room. Those are like the rooms you go through on the way to Dark Nebula.
And of course, helpfully offering us some more friends here, which we will in fact say the exact opposite of yes to.
Yep, in fact, we are now done with them, and while I thank them for their time, the Roach has to handle this on his own. So there's Xanadin. Not much to say about this. We can't skip this one. Behind us does give like a very neat, very anime pose. There we go. Ooh, actually, I didn't quite have that as good as I thought I did. Alright, that's not the setup I want. Actually, I lied. Apparently it does not, so I'm going to do a different setup.
Nice.
Yeah, ideally we don't want him to do the friend circle against us. It's slow and scary, so we don't want it.
Good covering at the end, though.
Also, can't believe we're actually done here. I lied. And now for the best track of the game we're not going to actually get to hear much of. So this is Morpho Night. The short version is this game was going to do a Galactic Night fight, faces out with the butterfly. This is why Kirby fans are very scared of butterflies now. Thanks. I'm gonna move over here. And you know what? I have a fun way of doing this. Get him, Doc.
The style kill.
Anyways, time will be coming up after the screen shows the clear time. By the way, we have no use for Doc throughout the run. That's the one in the UFO. But that was just a neat time to use. I was actually gonna try to get Spinny, but that's fine. And time.
GG.
Definitely to be a better run, but still very fun. Definitely recommend this. It's a very short and sweet mode for most of the characters, even if you do the longer ones. Or heck, if you're interested in like any of the other games in the series, definitely check out speedrun.com/Kirby. We do have a Discord server for most of the series. There are a few communities that have their own thing, but we do link to them there if you are curious. But we would be more than happy to have you to try to learn this game, learn different games. If anything, give this game a shot. The story mode might not be the best, but this is very replayable, very fun. So's Heroes in another dimension. Obviously, I'm gonna give another shout out to the Kirby community. Lots of great people there. Very helpful, very, very good, very nice community. And of course you can find me at twitch.tv/Darksol188. I speedrun a lot of this series and try to dabble in some other things. But otherwise, thanks again for having me. Enjoy the runs coming up. Won't be the last you'll see me. I will be around for the Bayonetta 2 run, since I am helping commentary for that now.
Thank you so much, Darksol and Quacksilver, for the incredible run. And the adorable top-hatted friend. Love him so much. And that Bayonetta 2 run will be coming up in just a little bit, but not quite yet, because up next, we have Xenoblade Chronicles, Future Connected, Any% Casual. Except this will not be casual at all, because those are kind of conflicting statements now, isn't it? And since we last checked in, there's been a shakeup, and it seems Shulk and Nene are currently tied for our coveted spot of character choice. We're gonna take just a quick moment, so hang on to your hats, everyone. But in the meantime, you can definitely help persuade us in what direction we would like to go in that decision. Will Shulk win, as is expected of him? Will Melia come in with the sweep from behind? Or will it be Nene, that I now know how to pronounce? So, stay with us. Just one moment. Don't panic. We'll be right back with more Lady Arcader's Super Showcase.